Uh, Today I have Samy, my good friend from LinkedIn, the buddy who's going to show us his design system. And I'm super confident, super excited to see like how we're going to manage this. We're going to do some screen sharing. Watch until the end. You will see, you will get some free gift from the Samy. And yeah, Samy, my man, welcome. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, so hello, Sabahudin. Thank you for having me. So I'm a data and AI consultant, and I love building AI use cases on the side. I share content on LinkedIn, and today the idea is to show my design system that I created on Claude Code. So it's a code-based design system, and I will show as well the differences with tools like Claude Design, and where both can be interesting and how you can use it too.
Yeah, man, amazing. I wanted to ask you like the question, what will people get after this call? So you already answered it. By the way, guys, I'm testing this format with Phaeton right now. I'm thinking about maybe to move on more on production styles with Riverside, and to do more sessions. I would like to have a feedback from you. Maybe I'm not the best host ever, but again, I'm trying myself, doing my best here. But quick context between me and Samy. I also support Samy like almost 2 years ago, I think we are connected.
Yeah.
He also launched few tools. He has a really interesting perspective on AI, and I really admire his work, especially from technical part. Super smart guy. So today you're gonna learn a lot of stuff, and yeah, I'm super excited to see how you do this thing with the Claude Code, because we chat before this call, like this becomes like a video game. I'm not sure, like sometimes I feel productive, but in most of the case I feel addicted.
Yeah, and it's hard to find valuable use cases sometimes. And this use case of a design system came from frustration, because designing content takes a lot of time. I spoke with a lot of creators, and all of them tell me the same, that design takes time. Usually they hand it off to designers. It can take several hours, and I was curious to find a way to do it with AI. So. Yeah.
Look, man, sorry if I interrupt you, but if you can like put yourself in a position where you just gonna spend, let's say, 10-20 minutes of editing final pieces of the, let's say, full week production, 3 carousels, maybe 2 infographics, and you spend only 20 minutes on that, that's a huge winner. Because from my side, I still don't believe that can go autonomously from start to end without you reviewing anything. I mean, you can let it go, but you'll not have the strong brand, first thing. The second thing, you will have those most common Claude Code vibe design outputs. You know what I mean? Like you can notice like it is Claude Code, or is some person put some additional effort to be like more, you know, on brand. So from my side, how I see the content production part is basically I automate the content research, where I just, you know, have monitor few channels, few keywords, and then came up with 15 to 20 ideas with full context, where I can review and see what people do. But from the other side, like because I'm in Claude Code space, I have tons of ideas inside of the actual folder. When you think about, I can talk about folder structure. I can talk about every piece of inside of the folder. I can talk about every MD file, what means, every workflow, etc. So there's a lot of stuff, but I also, you know, it's important to track what's happening there. And once I get the idea right, the production part is tricky. So I need to create a prompts for infographics, for example, and Carousel, then run it through the Claude Code or any other tool, then review it, etc. So it takes some time if you wanted to keep quality content. So without me talking too much, Samy, let's share the screen. Let's see what we can do. I hope we allow it. Do you see the?
So, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what I'm showing you is the result of my design system. So when I run on a local host, it's basically like running a basic application with all my AI design, AI generated designs. So for instance, you can see that there are some infographics. So there is one here. There is another one here that I posted just yesterday.
Yeah,
and as you can see, it's using my colors, my fonts. It's using my style. So I spent some time building the system in order to always be on brand. So for instance, there is this one that I recently posted, and this one I really like. So for instance, as you can see, the number 2 here is a bit off, so I will have to edit it manually. It's just a small tweak that you were talking about. And that was generated in one shot with AI, which is very interesting.
Let's stop here. Like if this is from the one shot without touching anything, this is pretty 95% done.
Yes, exactly.
Man.
It can be almost ready to post, but of course with the Figma MCP, you can receive it on Figma and then edit it manually. And you can also directly download the asset here, because I have a script running locally to do it. So if I click here, of course, you will have access to this system, and you'll be able to put your brand and all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a script also that multiplies the size of the infographic in order to keep a great pixel quality. So as you can see, when I open it, it looks great. The pixels are awesome, and I can post it. So I did it for infographics, and I also did it for carousels. For carousels, I think it's even better, because it takes a lot of time to put the screenshots on the canvas and arrange the titles and on all the pages. And this carousel was AI generated completely. All I had to do was to place the screenshots in a folder that I will show you later how I organized my code base. And I gave it a prompt saying, I want you to make me a tutorial about how to make McKinsey level slides with AI. And I also gave it the outline in order to have a good result from the start and don't have too much tweaking. So after generating these designs, what I do is ask Claude Code to push them to Figma. And all my designs are here in Figma. So for instance, on this one, I changed manually the cover page because it didn't look as good as I wanted, but the rest I kept it as it was, and it was ready to post, and that post made good engagement. I had several thousand impressions. So it's a real win.
Yeah,
you
man.
can save a lot of time. This one too was AI generated.
I like the idea.
You wanted to see.
Yeah, I like the idea how you organize the screenshots. So basically, if you have some idea in your mind, like basically take some screenshots, do you rename them, or they should be, or the cloud decide in which slide should be appear, or like?
Actually, I named them I named them step 1, step 2, step 3 for the AI to be for it to be easy for. But Opus 4.7 now has great vision capabilities. It can read your screenshots, interpret them, and place them in a good way in your design as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's wild. But considering like that this is the output that maybe you potentially spend, as you said, like you spend maybe on first title page, do some tweaks.
Yeah.
It's around 3 to 5 minutes and everything's ready. So amazing job, man.
Exactly.
You can continue, sorry.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Now I can show you my how I organized the code base and what are the most important files, if you want. So it's completely open source. You have you'll have access later to the repo. We will share it with you. And how it was organized, it was organized around building 3 assets, so infographics, carousels, and slide decks. And how it works, you give your prompt to Claude Code, and then Claude Code will take all the assets and all the brand data and create design from it using specialized sub-agents. Sub-agents are interesting to use because they have isolated context, meaning there are less chances for them to hallucinate, and they only take the right amount of information to produce the best results. So if I show you in the setup at first, during the onboarding, what you can usually do is to paste your website. So if you have a website with your brand colors, your fonts, and some visual assets, Claude Code will be able to extract all your brand inside the design system. And it will use this to do 2 things. One, it will save the data in a folder, the asset folder. And in this asset folder, you can have screenshots from your websites. You can add icons of your brand, your avatar picture, like this one, for it to appear on every design. And also during the onboarding, there is a file that is very important that gets filled automatically. It's the DESIGN.md file. So I don't know if you've heard about it. People talk about it a lot on Twitter. The DESIGN.md, it's a file that is basically one markdown file that contains all your brand data. So you have your fonts, the colors you're using in your brand. You also have the style of the borders of your components, the shadows. And all of this is data-driven with real values. And these values are then extracted by Claude Code. So you don't have to do anything during the setup. It's handled by the skills that are already placed here. And it fills this file, the Tailwind config.js file from the DESIGN.md, and also CSS files.
By the way, when you say DESIGN.md file, like is that the same nature of like the CLAUDE.md file? Like it's a short description of what is inside of this folder, or it's something else like more advanced? Is there anything like, for example, you saw that people said like you should keep your CLAUDE.md file under 200 lines. Is that the case for the DESIGN.md file? Like if you can just make some key comparison, what is the difference?
Yes, sure. So the DESIGN.md file, it was created by Google. Google have a design tool called Google Stitch. And they created this design standard. And the idea, it was to communicate a visual identity, a brand, to AI agents in the easiest way possible. And the easiest way possible, they found, was the DESIGN.md. They open sourced their DESIGN.md and how they created it with their tool, Google Stitch. So it's the standard that I used in my tool. And the difference between DESIGN.md and CLAUDE.md to answer the question. CLAUDE.md, I see it more like a file that will explain to Claude Code your code base. It will tell him where are the most important folders, the most important files, where are the major workflows, the major scripts. So as you can see, I tried to keep it very lean. It's very important to keep it short because it's loaded in every Claude Code session. So if you want to save tokens and also to avoid context overload, I really advise to keep it short and effective. And as you can see, it's mentioning the DESIGN.md file, and the DESIGN.md file will only be used when building the configuration files for the style and also in the design process.
Yeah, by the way, like I'm sure like once you start building this system, probably you use it without DESIGN.md file, right? Or you start using it first. Like if that's the case, like well, what was the difference? Like how that impact on your overall design system? I'm sure it was great positive impact.
Yeah. Yes. So the positive impact was speed and also accuracy. Because before using the DESIGN.md file, what it was doing, it was hard coding all the fonts, all the colors inside my designs. And because I wanted to open source the project, I didn't want my designs to be to have hard coded design elements, but rather to take them from one source of truth, which is DESIGN.md, and that source of truth is adapted during the onboarding.
Yeah.
So if you start using this repository and you follow the setup, your DESIGN.md file will not look at all as mine.
Nice, man. Yeah, I mean, you can continue while like we stop on that Cloud DESIGN.md.
Yeah. So this DESIGN.md, as I said, is the source of truth of your design system. But also you need to have templates. You need to have assets. So for the templates, I have several templates. I have one template for carousels. So all my carousel look the same because they have the same structure. And on every design, the design agent will take this structure and will try to recreate it with a new topic. Of course, you can add as many templates as you want. I've also created a template for PowerPoint slides. But for infographics, I noticed that templates were not very effective because, as you know, infographics can be very various depending on what you want to show. So I found the best results was more to give it size constraints and to tell it good practices. So I have a skill file for infographics here, infographic designer. And inside it, I gave some examples and also how to create it step by step.
Yeah, and quick question on this. Like,
yeah.
When you start showing the templates, I was surprised that they are written in the code. I was thinking about like it's going to be some type of the PNG templates with placeholders. Like two questions here. Like first, like why you decide to do that? I think I know the answer because Claude Code works better on a Claude Code environment. Right? And how long it took you to build this? Probably Claude Code built this, but how you orchestrate it to get this result?
So it took me a couple of weeks to build it. I would say, a month ago, I started working on this system and also lead generation system that I will share later. And why I used code is because it's more deterministic. The problem with giving only PNG files is that the model will use vision, but he will not be able to calculate the size of the components very well. It will not be very precise. And also the colors, when you rely only on screenshots for colors, you don't get the exact brand colors. And that's why on Nano Banana, you can see that people using it to produce designs, they usually struggle to get the exact colors of their brands. So it's very important to create the components to encode your brand, and also Claude Design, which is a new tool that was created by Anthropic. They're using the same philosophy. If you look at how it's organized, what files they're using components written in JavaScript. They're using templates written in code as well. And I think it's the best way to get good results and reliable results. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if not sure if you ever cover this topic on your own newsletter or LinkedIn, but I think for me or for my audience and overall people, like, will be really interesting, like how to approach to build some type of the templates using this code. Because me as a non-technical person here, it's total confusion. For you, maybe it's more easier, but again, I get your point. Like, just one more layer on this, like on token codes, like it's when you're comparing like to running from code templates, comparing with the vision, I'm assume that this is most effective, right? More effective.
Yes, it's more effective than vision, and also vision can create some hallucinations sometimes because the model has to guess a lot of things like the size and the positions of the components. Whereas when you're using code, it's easier for the model to understand how to organize the visual, how to place the components on the canvas. So it's it's better in my experience. But I also gave it some inspiration screenshots. Maybe not here. Yeah, it's in my public.
Yeah, that's what I ask you. Like, what if you combine both, even the visual and the code? So you already did this. Nice job, man.
Yeah, I tried to combine both because I think the best thing to do is to combine both. It will consume a lot of tokens, but at least you'll get a good quality result.
Yeah.
And also what's great with code is that you can reference directly logos, you can reference directly illustrations. I like using Notion illustrations in my designs, and it goes directly in my asset folder. It picks the design, the illustration, and it places them on the design automatically. So that's also a good way of using it. And if you want, we can do a small demo.
Yeah, let's do it. Sure.
So if you want to start it, you can just type infographic, for instance. So I'm using slash commands to make it easier.
Yeah, me too as well. Like, I mean, if you said like make an infographic, he's gonna detect that command as well, I assume.
Exactly. And it knows exactly how to prepare the questions and all that. So it asks me what topic should this LinkedIn infographic cover. So if I don't want to choose these topics, I can choose a topic of my own. So I saved some prompts here just for the demo. Let's take this one, for instance. So it's a very basic prompt. Create an infographic about the top 5 mistakes founders make when pitching to investors. For early stage startup founders, keep it sharp and professional. Well, it's very basic. It's just to test.
I'm super curious what will AI say about this topic.
Yes.
AI pitch this.
It's a hard question.
Yeah, nice.
And one thing interesting also is that it produces a design brief, and you can review the design brief. So if you read the design brief and you don't like how Claude Code approached it, you can tell him to change some sections. You can suggest other icons or other illustrations. So I will not change too much. I will just say approved, but you can, of course, choose whatever you want to change.
Yeah, well, small thing what I noticed here and why I'm super impressed with this is basically you basically create the skill that will first create a plan mode for infographic.
Yeah.
By asking you questions that provide you the plan, which will save you tons of times on the long-term run, because if the plan it's not good, or if you execute, which is worse, if you execute without the plan, basically you're gonna struggle most of the time to edit, click it again, maybe run again, where you're gonna spend more tokens, more times, and then at the end of the day, like the system will not bring that value where it's gonna save you the time, but at the same time, the quality, keep the quality output. So that's a pretty smart approach. But for example, like while this is running, like for example, if I want to connect this infographic skill into the some type of content repurposing system, right? So basically, let's say I can page a transcript, right? So in that moment, like, is there anything like predefined skill where he's gonna read the transcript and then create a brief from that and make a plan? Is that possible with this?
Yes, it's a smart way to repurpose transcripts. I haven't used it, but it's totally possible because once you give it either your research or the text that you want to include in your infographic, the agent will take it and will try to make it more concise and make it in a way that will be easy for him to place it on a design. So, for instance, what I usually do sometimes is that I dump ideas on my Notion content calendar, and then I just give it the link of the Notion content idea, and it will just fetch my Notion page, and it will create the design based on that research and drafts I made on Notion.
Yeah,
so
by
that's
the way, thing, because we have a similar approach. I also, most of the stuff do on Notion. Here, did you figure out the way like how you can push image or PDF file directly through Claude Code into the Notion? Because I struggle all the time with that.
Yeah, I haven't tried, but yeah, I think it's hard. Yes.
Yeah.
Pushing text is easy. I've done it several times, but images, yeah, it might struggle a bit. Yes. So it finished designing.
Let's analyze it, like how he did it. Like if you can go up from the start.
So what he did, he took the design brief, and on this step, he actually, I think he's reading the design brief, and then he's reading the DESIGN.md again, because I put it in the skill that he must read the DESIGN.md to be sure to stay on brand. And also he checked the components. So the components that are code-based I showed you, he read them again to see what component he can use. And but of course, it was described during the design brief. I think it tells him what components and what assets to use usually.
Look, this is also a great step just to make sure, like, if he didn't catch it there in the brief, he's gonna have hardcore rule to always read components. So that's it. I mean,
yeah.
Then you're gonna more tokens, like let's say, I don't know, a few extra tokens, but on the long term, super important for the output quality.
Yeah. And also it went into my folder of icons to choose the most relevant icons. I named all my icons in an easy to understand way, in order for the agent to choose relevant icons. So to run it, all you have to do is to open the terminal and you type pnpm dev, and what it will do is to run the local application I showed you earlier. So now you can access it. You just click on the link. I will not click because it will open it. So here inside VS Code, I prefer to keep a big window. So I will just refresh this page and it should appear. I hope it doesn't look like
most of the time on this
doesn't look bad.
Yeah.
So it's strange, I cannot see the design.
Yeah,
I will ask him. I can see the design.
Yeah, that's all.
Because it should add it to the app. App.jsx is where the app is running. It's just one file. And if he doesn't add it to the file, it will not be displayed. So now it should be, it's called 5-pitch mistakes. We should see it.
Maybe you can refresh the page or.
Yes.
Or maybe
yes, it was in the middle. I just didn't see it before.
Oh,
so here. Yes. So I did a very basic design. I think I should have used maybe Opus. I forgot to not use. Well, if I had used a better model and gave it more direction, maybe he would have created a better design.
Look, this still looks like more than average of most of the people do the Claude Code design. First of all, the icons are super unique. I like them, so they are following your specific brand.
Yes.
Other thing, like what I show is also you in the GitHub repo, like there's some tool that all of the logos are there, so you can also do some type of the MCP, so you can take the name of the company. If you talk about, for example, Notion, Claude Code workflows, you're gonna take those two icons.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, from considering that you produced this in matter of seconds, first thing. Second thing, you didn't put any type of the extra context. You just tell him, like, give me the 5 mistakes. Yeah, let's see what type of mistakes he gave. Like,
so he gave
vanity makes it fix lead with the pain of the product. Oh, nice. Show retention, not just downloads. Investor back people. Okay, like solid. Like
yes.
I like what. So like, so when people get installed this, like, is there any specific process? They just type /setup or /onboarding. Like, if you can show that quick review, because they're gonna get this repo for free. Thank you for being generous, man. This is super.
Yeah, sure. So when they first start, what I recommend is to create this .env file. It's where your environment variables will be stored. And what I mean by environment variables, it's the API keys of Firecrawl. It's completely free. You can create your account easily and paste your key here. You can also add logodev API key and brandfetch API key. Those two are used if you want maybe to create an infographic or a carousel about tools. It will be able to fetch the logos and then store them in your code base and use them in your design. So I've used it in other designs. Yes?
do they have a free trial, Logo Dev, or they
Yes, yes. I'm not paying for any of these free tools. The only tool I'm paying for is Figma and Claude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Figma is a must-have tool and needs to be paid to be part of this system, right? Because it's adjusted to the.
Yeah, it's better if you have access to Figma, because I think you might have some free credits to use the MCP, but it's better if you're paying for the professional plan that is $20 per month. And if you're not using Figma, you can directly download the designs as I showed, and it's totally okay. It will work without Figma. And after you fill this, all you do is to start. So you start a new conversation with Claude Code. Of course, this folder, you download it from GitHub, and then you open it using VS Code, but you also can download it using Cursor and Codex. So I tried to make sure that this system can work as well with Cursor, Codex, and Claude. All I did was to specialize those 3 folders. And this way, when I run out of token using Claude Code, I just switch to Cursor that is more generous. And also Codex has a generous free plan. So sometimes I use it too, and it works very well.
That's actually super smart. I never think about it. I saw a few days ago you posted why is it to rely on not only on Claude Code, like now about, especially because these tokens struggle with Claude Code. You should have also sync the codex. So basically, they go on GitHub repo, they click on the code, they download the zip file, they add the folder, open VS Code desktop app, whatever it is. Previously, of course, they need to have installed Claude Code in the terminal so it can access to their machine. But guys, those are just basic stuff where you can find anywhere on Anthropic official site. But when you are on the GitHub repo, if you can show them, Samy, like on a GitHub repo.
How to access it. And just when you're on Claude Code, to run the setup after setting the variables, you just need to type this command, setup, and then it will walk you through the setup that is roughly 3-4 minutes setup. It's really fast. It will just ask you 5 questions, and it's to provide the best experience. So, and also there are some themes that are already saved. If you don't have a brand, if you don't have a good visual identity, it can also provide one for you and let you choose between several examples. So to use it, all you have to do is go on this page. You can, so there are several ways to fork an existing repo. You can use the terminal commands. So you can just copy this and click on the terminal, paste this code, and it will clone the repo. Or what I usually do that is more reliable and simple is that I click on code, I download the zip, as you said, and then that's the best way for me. It's easy and it's reliable. You unzip it, and then you just, for instance, if I do new window, so if you open VS Code for the first time, you'll have something that looks like this. You have no files, you have nothing. And all you have to do is to open a folder. And for instance, you select the folder here. I click.
And that's it.
And that's it. And also, if you want to install Claude Code on VS Code, so you can use the terminal, but you can also use the extension. So you go here in extensions, you type Claude Code.
Yeah, by the way, I wanted to ask you, like, since the Anthropic launched the desktop app, the reason why I started VS Code is because I love that folder preview, etc. But
Yes.
like desktop app also have the same feature. So guys, like if this makes this complicated for you to add VS Code, these are crazy guys that like me and Sami, we used to go and run on VS Code. But I realized like you can do the same exact job on the Claude Code desktop app.
100%.
Just click and open the exact process, select the folder, and then you're ready to go. The one thing, as I said, it's super important to mention, go on Anthropic official Claude Code guide. You have the command to install from the terminal, so Claude Code can access to your local machine and read the files, etc. That's the only thing that you need to do it. I mean, super technical. Everything else, Sami do amazing job, man. I'm like, my first impression from this, like, I learned a few new stuff, to be honest with you. I never think about these templates. That's the first thing that impressed me, that you do it from perspective of code templates, which at the end of the day, it makes total sense, because when you think about it, those components, when you run through the visual part, it can hallucinate. But if they are hard-coded, that's definitely like a super advantage. Also, for colors, I don't know, like Nano Banana can also like miss the colors, etc. But this way, it's running. What else? DESIGN.md. I also have the design system, but not using DESIGN.md. I probably should implement this part. Super important. And still, I didn't know that the Google first launched this. But when you're considering that biggest players doing this, I think it's obvious, super valuable stuff. And on the long-term run, like the most impressed thing that you showed me is at the end, like you have for the Cursor, you have for the Codex, and then if something happens to Claude Code, you can quickly switch and run it to another. On the free.
And especially.
Sorry, you didn't pay for Codex and Cursor. You're using the free trials of them, right? Or you're paying for
Codex, I'm using the free trial, but Cursor, I'm paying. Because the Claude tokens limit on the prop plan at $20, it was really not enough. You get stuck very fast. You can't develop a lot. So when I'm in a phase where I develop a lot of code, I usually take Cursor, because you can use their auto mode, and it's a mode that is very cheap. You can use a lot of AI without limits, and I combine both depending on what I do. And also what you can do is to use, for instance, Opus 4.7. That is very expensive because it's very smart model. You can use it to plan, and then change the model. You can switch to a model that is less smart, that will just execute the tasks. And it's a way I found to save tokens, and it was pretty effective.
Yeah, is there any way, like, because I saw that from Anthropic official skill guide, they basically embed that into the skill, because they combine different models inside skills. So Claude used them like, did you try that part? Because I didn't yet. I still do that same way. Like I plan with the Opus, then I execute with Sonnet. But if it's possible to embed that as a part of the skill, so Claude can switch the models during the run, that will be the. I mean, I didn't try. I'm just asking you.
Yeah, I feel like I tried putting the model inside the skill, but I feel like that the model that is used stays the model of your conversation. Maybe it uses the model in the moment it takes the skills and it tries to understand it and do the tasks, but then all the tasks that will follow will still be the model of your session. I think that's what I've experimented, but maybe I'm mistaken. I'm not sure.
So to recap this, guys, in overall, you will need to have paid pro plan of Anthropic, which is $20. You will need to have Figma in case you want to run it. Of course, you can run it from the local terminal, and then you can maybe potentially screenshot. Other things, maybe you can add Playwright MCP, which is Chrome.
Yeah, and you can. There is a download button. You can download the infographics. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the overall thing why you're using the Figma as a one more layer is basically you can do the final edits and tweaks.
Yeah.
Way more easier, and yeah.
Exactly.
So that's it. Like you have to pay 2 tools. The one tool and the second is the optional. And I think you can run really great design system. Of course, you need to use your own brain, how you can come up with some good ideas, etc. But I think what Samy gives you here is one big advantage of how you can organize your design system, not only for infographics. You can also expand this to the proposals, etc. There's many ways and variations how you can build more layers on this. Samy, if you have anything to add at the end of this, please feel free.
Yeah, it was great talking to you. Very interesting topics. And also, if you're not technical and you just want a first glimpse of what a design system can do, the best thing you can do is to try Claude Design, because it's easier to get started and have something running, and it has really good results. So yeah, it was a pleasure, and thank you very much.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.